Good afternoon and welcome, everyone. Please be seated. My name is Simona Agnolucci. I'm a UC Law class of 2006 graduate, and I serve as the chair of the board of directors of UC Law San Francisco. Welcome on behalf of the board, faculty, staff, and administration. Before we begin our program, as is now our tradition at the start of commencement, we will be taking a moment to acknowledge the history and impact of UC Law San Francisco's founder and first dean, Sir Ernest Hastings, and his involvement with the state of California's sanctioned killing of California's Native Americans. We acknowledge today that 2 decades before the founding of the school, Sir Ernest Hastings was involved in the establishment of a militia and other acts that resulted in the brutal killing of Native Americans in Round Valley and Eden Valley, most especially the Yuki people. We acknowledge the atrocities that the state perpetrated against California's indigenous people and the involvement of our founder and our first dean in those atrocities. We will continue to foster our relationship with Round Valley Indian tribes and members of the Yuki people, including by engaging in various restorative justice initiatives. Now I take great pleasure in calling to order the 143rd commencement for UC Law San Francisco. Welcome. We are here today to celebrate with great pride your accomplishments and dedication. As UC Law San Francisco is at a crossroads of even greater achievement and reputation, your graduation today is not only the fulfillment of your own dedication and hard work, but it is an extraordinary contribution to the success of the college, all of your colleagues sitting next to you, and all of us here on the stage. You have worked very hard to earn the degrees we are here to bestow, and we thank your family members and friends in attendance who have been there for you and are now here to celebrate this milestone. I must say, on a personal note, walking down the aisle year after year and seeing the faces of the friends and families here to support you is my absolutely favorite part of commencement, that and all the little kids who come on stage. And it's also one of my proudest moments as a director of this institution. We are all here because of the help of others in part. And please take a moment as you all are basking in your glory to thank those who supported and helped you along the way and who are so proud to see you here today. And students, this is not a goodbye. When you leave here today as a graduate of UC Law SF, you are joining a worldwide community of alumni who are making their mark in nearly every field of human endeavor. You are the future lawyers, legislators, mediators, judges, legal scholars, and business partners who will go on to make a difference in this world. We look forward to your accomplishments, and we welcome you as alumni of our institution. On behalf of the Board of Directors, it is again our honor to share this important day with you. Together, we are UC Law San Francisco. Now, it is my pleasure and privilege to introduce the Chancellor and Dean of UC Law San Francisco, David Faigman.
Thank you, Director Agnolucci. Good afternoon. Welcome to the graduates of the class of 2024. On behalf of UC Law San Francisco, I welcome you and congratulate you and your families. We are here today to recognize and honor our graduates, of whom we are all extremely proud. John Adams said, quote, "There are two types of education. One should teach us how to make a living, and the other how to live." I am confident that UC Law San Francisco provided the former, and I hope that we have contributed to the latter. We also want to recognize and thank the families and friends of our graduates. None of us succeeds alone. However far we travel in this world, it is our family and friends that have given us the safe harbor from which to venture forth and to which we can always return. Please join me in recognizing your families and friends whose love, support, and encouragement have made this day possible. Thank you. Please also join me in recognizing your faculty. Thurgood Marshall famously said, quote, "None of us got where we are solely by pulling ourselves up by our bootstraps. We got here because somebody, a parent, a teacher, an Ivy League crony, or a few nuns, bent down and helped pick us up by our boots. We are very fortunate indeed to have a faculty who are dedicated to their profession, their school, and most importantly to you, their students. To our faculty, thank you." I want to thank those who made this event possible. There are more than 30 staff members from across the college here working to make this day memorable and special for all of our graduates, guests, and families. Thank you to all those who have kindly given your time today for all that you do throughout the year. To our staff, thank you very much. At UC Law San Francisco, we believe the delivery of pro bono services is an integral part of legal education and the practice of law. The full term is pro bono publico, which translates as for the public good. Winston Churchill describes succinctly what we get out of giving. He said, quote, "We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give." The California Bar, state bar associations across the country, and the American Bar Association all encourage attorneys to devote at least 50 hours annually to the provision of free legal services. The class of 2024 took this pledge to provide pro bono services to heart, with many of today's graduates participating in the program. Of those participating in the pro bono program, 61 members of the class of 2024 have met UC Law San Francisco's pro bono goal and are recognized as members of the Pro Bono Society. 20 of these graduates went even further and met the aspirational pro bono goal set for licensed attorneys and are recognized today for outstanding achievement in pro bono. Together, the class of 2024 provided more than 8,000 hours of pro bono services. At a very conservative billing rate of $100 per hour, these graduates provided over $800,000 in legal services. We hope that this spirit of pro bono is a commitment all our graduates will continue to live up to throughout their professional lives. Will the graduates receiving pro bono recognition please stand? Thank you. UC Law San Francisco takes its obligations as a public law school seriously and with great intentionality. For instance, our Legal Education Opportunity Program, LEOP, turned 50 in 2019, and we celebrated our 50th anniversary cohort when they graduated. LEOP has become a national model for how higher education can open doors for those not conventionally welcomed into the halls of power and privilege. This year, our first generation program gives us a reason to celebrate another cohort of students who have met and surpassed a specific challenge, the first in their families to go to college and the first to go to law school. Our first-generation students comprise approximately 20% of each UC Law class. To be sure, like all of our graduates, they have certainly had the love and support of family and friends who helped them navigate that untrodden path. But being the first to actually walk that path is an accomplishment worthy of special recognition. I now ask those first-gen students in the graduating class to please stand so we can recognize and applaud this great accomplishment. Thank you. It is now my pleasure to introduce the first of our three student speakers. The valedictorian is a member of the graduating Juris Doctor class with the highest grade point average after completion of 5 semesters at UC Law San Francisco. This year's valedictorian, you're ahead of me. This year's valedictorian is Catherine Nasi. Catherine is a native of New Jersey and received her BA in psychology from the University of San Francisco. Before attending law school, she served for 4 years as an officer in the United States Army, stationed at Fort Hood, Texas, and Fort Bliss, Texas. She has been married for 10 years. You should say thank you, that too. At UC Law, Catherine concentrated in tax, was a member of the UC Law San Francisco Association of Tax Students, a senior production editor for the UC Law Journal, and a member of the Honor Society and Thurston Society. After graduation, Catherine will be working in the tax group at Baker McKenzie in San Francisco. Catherine? Congratulations.
Thank you, Dean Faigman. As I look back on these last 3 years, I'm filled with so many different emotions. There's excitement, there's pride, gratitude, and also a sense of relief. To be honest, a part of me can't even believe that we've actually made it. To think when we started this journey, we were still in the middle of the pandemic, and I had no idea what any of you looked like because of the masks. I think I speak, though, if not for all of us, then for most of us, when I say that the last 3 years have been hard. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. It reminds me of a quote from the classic movie, A League of Their Own. It's supposed to be hard. If it wasn't hard, everyone would do it. The hard is what makes it great. The truth is, if making it through law school were easy, everyone would do it. Well, maybe not everyone. But it's not easy. It required hard work, courage, and perseverance. It required us to push ourselves beyond what we thought was possible, to confront our fears, and to rise to the occasion when faced with adversity. But it is in the face of this difficulty that we discovered our true strength, resilience, and capacity for growth. It is in this journey that we uncovered our hidden talents, untapped potential, and unexplored opportunities. Indeed, the hard is what makes our journey through law school great. The last several years have required not only intellect, but grit, determination, and an unwavering commitment to excellence. We have been challenged to push ourselves beyond our limits, to confront our weaknesses, and to strive for greatness in all that we do. We have encountered moments of triumph and moments of setback, moments of clarity and moments of doubt. But beyond the challenges and hardship, there has also been joy, fulfillment, and triumph. There is the sense of accomplishment in overcoming obstacles and achieving our goals. Every struggle, every setback, every sacrifice has been worth it in the end. The challenges we faced have instilled in us a sense of pride, accomplishment, and most of all, self-confidence in our abilities. We have been empowered to overcome obstacles, achieve our goals, and make a meaningful difference in the world. As we stand on the threshold of this new chapter in our lives, let us not forget the lessons we have learned along the way. Let us remember the importance of perseverance in the face of adversity, the value of resilience in times of hardship, and the necessity of determination in pursuit of our dreams. Let us carry with us a sense of determination, a continued commitment to excellence, and the belief that we are capable of achieving greatness in all that we do. Let us embrace the challenges that lie ahead with open hearts and open minds. Let us be willing to step outside of our comfort zones, to take risks, and to embrace the unknown with courage and conviction. For it is in the face of difficulty that we discover our true potential, our true purpose, and our true greatness. And finally, but certainly not least, I want to express my deepest gratitude to everyone who has supported all of us here today on our journey. To our professors and mentors, thank you for imparting your wisdom and knowledge, for challenging us to think critically and pushing us to be better. To our families and loved ones, thank you for your sacrifices that you have made these last few years, and for your unending patience and unwavering support. And lastly, to my fellow graduates, thank you. Thank you for the friendship and the shared experiences. May we venture forth into the next chapter with courage in our hearts, determination in our minds, and a sense of pride in all that we have accomplished. Congratulations, class of 2024. The hard is what makes it great, and I look forward to seeing what greatness you all achieve in the years to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine. Each year, the third-year council holds elections to choose who will speak on behalf of the class. The students this year elected to have 2 students deliver shorter remarks to represent the graduating class. This year's speakers are Mikayla Domingo and Kyle Freeman. Both from the graduating JD class. Born and raised on the island of Kauai, Hawaii, Mikayla Domingo is a first-generation law student and chose to pursue law school because of her passion for women's rights. Mikayla served as the co-executive articles editor on the Science and Technology Law Journal and authored a scholarly publication entitled One Nation Under Dobbs, How Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health Impacts Data Privacy for All. Mikayla was also a member of the Filipinx American Law Society and Family Law Students Association. After taking the California bar, Mikayla will be pursuing a career in family law as a divorce attorney. Kyle Freeman. Kyle hails from Los Angeles, California. Born and raised. He is the proud son of Rudy Freeman and Suzanne Freeman. Kyle earned a Bachelor of Arts degree in philosophy from Pitzer College, where he is a first baseman on the college's varsity baseball team. Kyle was admitted to UC Law San Francisco via the prestigious Legal Education Opportunity Program and has ingratiated himself in several leadership positions since being here. Kyle was elected as a student representative during his first 2 years, acted as a treasurer for the Black Law Students Association, participated as a voting member on the committee for the Rudder Award for Teaching Excellence, voted on the school's admissions policy committee, and has acted as a mentor for several younger law students. And most significantly, Kyle was elected by his peers to be the school's student body president. Now, upon graduation, Kyle will be joining Aaron Fox Schiff in the firm's corporate and bankruptcy groups. Mikayla?
Good afternoon, class of 2024. My name is Mikayla Domingo, and I am honored to be your class speaker. We've all heard the saying, life is a marathon, not a sprint. The world's fastest marathoner ran a 1 hour and 59-minute marathon, which is a 4.5-minute mile for 26.2 miles. Before this, it was doubted that a human could ever run a sub-2-hour marathon. I share this with you because law school has been both a marathon and a sprint. We all lined up for the start of this race with big dreams and passion in our hearts. For the past 3 years, we pushed the boundaries of human endurance every day. Runners, take your mark. We entered our inns with, once in law school, the gun goes off and the race begins. We entered our inns with high energy, but quickly realized that the entire course was uphill. We were dying for that mile 1 water station after learning how much we don't know. The prospect of a cold call was once anxiety-inducing. We case briefed until 2 a.m. not knowing how to outline. We balanced professional networking with our education in hopes of finding a summer job. We were exhausted, yet we kept running. The start of 2L equates to mile marker 10. The pack we ran with for the first half of the race begins to branch out. We joined moot court and law journals. We made friends outside of our inns. Some of you even found love. I see my favorite couple still going strong today. We took harder classes and balanced a greater workload, all while knowing that the race was not even halfway over. Yet, we kept running. By 3L, we enter the final stretch. We thought this is the part where the course flattens and we ride the runners high, but you've ran for over 20 miles, and your tank is empty. The finish line is visible, but your internal monologue beckons, feet don't fail me now. Yet, we kept running. Today, we crossed that finish line. As I stand before this graduating class, I am awestruck by my classmates' tenacity. And like our predecessors, we will make history. Because like it was once believed that a human could never run a sub-2-hour marathon, it was also believed that women and people of color would never be attorneys. But our own Clara Fultz would prove that misconception wrong, making history as the first woman to pass the California bar. To all of you incredible women, you will also make history. You'll win landmark cases. You'll earn spots on the high courts and in the Oval Office. You'll fight zealously for women's rights and women's wrongs if you're a divorce attorney. There's also Wiley Manuel, the first Black Associate Justice, and Emma Ping Lum, the first Chinese-American woman to practice before the United States Supreme Court. To all of my classmates who have faced racial adversity, your marathon doubled as an obstacle course, yet you still came out on top. I have all the confidence that you will stand and fight in the face of injustice and become the change that this field so desperately needs. But as we cross one finish line, another race begins. Your dream of becoming an attorney is about to be reality. No matter your practice area, you will be lacing up to bring meaningful impact to this world. So, class of 2024, take your mark because you are about to make history. Before I go, I would like to say thank you. First, to my family for being here today and every step of the way. Mom, thank you for teaching me the value of education and always believing in me. To my best friends, Kate Wetterstrand and Nicole No, for making this experience beautiful through your friendship. And finally, to all of you, thank you for the honor of being your classmate. It has been a privilege to learn and grow with you for these 3 years. Ahui hokako, my friends. Congratulations, class of 2024, and thank you.
Adjust these mics. Good afternoon, everyone. Great job, Mikayla. Great job, Kat. Thank you, Dean Faigman. Thank you to the esteemed staff and faculty that are here today. Welcome to our mentors, special guests, friends, and family. And most of all, congratulations to the amazing class of 2024. I am immensely proud and deeply grateful to be standing before you all today, marking this significant occasion. And while it may appear to our loved ones that these past 3 years have passed in the blink of an eye, I can assure you they haven't. And yet here we are, having persevered through what feels like ages since our first steps in the halls of UC Law San Francisco. Now for me, law school came swiftly on the heels of 4 years of undergraduate studies. But here I am, 3 years older and hopefully a little wiser, reflecting on this significant milestone with memories now flooding my mind. I remember the anticipation, the excitement, and the nightmares of cold calls that hadn't happened yet from the summer before we began. But among these recollections, one detail eludes me, the identity and words of the student speaker from my undergraduate graduation. And so therefore, acknowledging this, if I cannot make this speech unforgettable, I will strive at the very least to keep it concise. And today, as we conclude this latest chapter, please take a moment to indulge this 25-year-old in sharing some insights and lessons that may guide you in your next chapters, because a lesson learned should be a lesson shared. When I was a sophomore in high school, I went to class, baseball practice, and straight home every day. And one day, I asked my dad for a brand new baseball bat. He had just bought my younger brother a new bat, and the season was just around the corner. But when I asked him, my dad said no. He did not equivocate or try to make me feel better about it. He just said no. And when I finally asked him why, he said, because you don't work hard at baseball. You do the bare minimum. And when you put the bare minimum in, that's what you get out. Now, I was hurt, confused, and frustrated that I couldn't get that new bat. I mean, I was doing what everyone else on my team did. But my frustration became focus, and that focus set me on a path to proving that I did take it seriously. And so from that day on, I worked out every day without fail. I cut out soda and I started eating better. I swung my bat 300 times every single day. I was on a mission. And after 6 months or so of my new lifestyle, I got that new bat from my dad. And despite my late start, I made it to college baseball. I learned from that experience that my commitment was commendable, but that it was my discipline that was crucial. So long as I continued to display the work ethic that got me there, I had everything I needed to succeed. And my baseball journey truly was one for a lifetime, and none of it would have happened on the path I'd begun on. I played in a draft league, I met lifelong friends, and I hit a few home runs, but more importantly, I learned from my experiences. I learned that you don't get what you wish for, you get what you work for. Now, I put everything I had into baseball, but when shoulder surgery kept me off the field, I was forced to pivot to a new path, to this path. And it was on this path that I was reminded that the arena does not matter and that discipline and commitment are still the key elements to success, because commitment will get you started, but discipline is what will carry you through. Now, I have watched all of you overcome all kinds of hurdles and setbacks just to get here today, and all of you made it, all of us made it, because we were committed to our goals of becoming lawyers. And we weren't just committed. Obviously, the long nights of reading, countless headaches, and questioning whether we could make it as a DJ played their parts. But we gave that effort, and we made those sacrifices day in and day out to accomplish the goal we set out to 3 years ago. And what is discipline if not doing what is hard or what you don't want to in pursuit of a goal you cannot see, feel, or touch today? And so now here we are. We've made it to the big stage. We've done all that needed to be done, even at the times when we didn't feel like it. So as we set out to accomplish our next goals, remain committed and disciplined in your pursuit of them, because you will only get out what you put in. And tonight, as we witness over 400 individuals graduating from UC Law, ranging in everything from tax to immigration to corporate business, consider how this class can use its commitment and discipline to transform lives, communities, and indeed the world itself. So regardless of your background, be it your gender, race, ethnicity, religion, sexual orientation, or socioeconomic status, we all encounter challenges, and we can overcome each and every one of them. So be it a baseball bat, a law degree, or anything else, it is all attainable through hard work. Because in baseball, in law school, and in life, you don't get what you wish for, you get what you work for. Congratulations to the graduating class of UC Law San Francisco. Our law school journey ends today, but the hard work never does. Thank you.
Thank you, Mikayla and to Kyle. It is now my great pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, the Honorable Mary H. Murguia, Chief Judge, United States Court of Appeals for the Ninth Circuit. Judge Murguia is the first Latina to serve as Chief Judge of a federal appellate court. She is the Ninth Circuit's 12th Chief Judge and the second woman to hold the position on the court. Nominated by President William J. Clinton for a new judgeship for the U.S. District of Arizona and confirmed in October 2000, Judge Murguia was the first Latina to serve on the District of Arizona. She served in that capacity until she was elevated to the Circuit Court after nomination by President Barack Obama and confirmed by the Senate on December 22, 2010. A native of Kansas City, Kansas, Judge Murguia received bachelor's degrees in both art and science from the University of Kansas in 1982 and her Juris Doctor from the University of Kansas School of Law in 1985. Rock Chalk Jayhawk. She's also a Kansas City Chiefs fan, but we won't hold that against her. Prior to coming onto the federal bench, Judge Murguia was an assistant district attorney for Wyandotte County, Kansas from 1985 to 1990, and an assistant United States attorney for the District of Arizona, where she served as criminal deputy chief. She served in the executive office for U.S. attorneys at the Department of Justice in Washington, D.C. from 1998 to 2000, and was the director of that office beginning in 1999. She maintains chambers in Phoenix, but travels extensively for oral arguments and other court business. In addition to hearing cases as chief judge, Judge Murguia's responsibilities include a variety of administrative duties. She chairs two judicial policymaking bodies, the Executive Committee of the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals and the Judicial Council of the Ninth Circuit. She also represents the Ninth Circuit at biannual meetings of the Judicial Conference of the United States, the judiciary's national governing body. As Chief Judge, she presides when an 11-judge en banc court is convened to resolve cases posing intra-circuit legal conflicts or to consider other matters deemed to be of exceptional importance. Judge Murguia, welcome to UC Law, San Francisco.
Good afternoon. Buenas tardes. Thank you so much for that very kind introduction. I'm deeply honored to be with you here on this very special day. I've long admired this institution. I'm fully aware that UC Law SF is a role model for other institutions of higher learning, especially when it comes to educating a diverse student body. UCSF is a leader in that respect. It's not only a leader in that respect, but you are also doing an amazing job of educating minority students so that they can compete in the 21st century job market. What this institution is doing will make our legal community and economy more diverse, and I believe our society much stronger, more resilient, and just. One of the great privileges of my job is the opportunity to talk to law students and young or starting out lawyers. This is a very challenging time, as you are aware, for our community and for our country. Some days it is difficult to stay optimistic in the face of so much intolerance, division, and anger. But on a day like today, when I look out at all of you, hear the speeches from the speakers, I'm inspired. It gives me hope. You are our future, and I hope you don't forget that. I know that it gives me a lot of comfort, aside from giving everyone here a lot of pride. First, I would like to extend my heartfelt congratulations to you all. This is, as they say in Kansas, a big dang deal, okay? It has taken a lot of work, a lot of time, and I know a lot of money to get to this point. For a lot of you, it has been a long 3-year journey. And some of you may have taken a little bit more time. This is a tremendous milestone. You deserve a big pat on the back and all the celebrating that you will certainly do later tonight, or maybe some have already started. Yes. But I want to keep in mind that no one, as you've heard from more than one person already, but I would be remiss if I didn't say this. I want you to keep in mind, no one takes this journey alone. Somewhere along the line, someone believed in you. Perhaps it was a teacher, a professor, a counselor, or a coach, and someone encouraged you to dream, and to dream big, but also assured you that achieving that dream was possible and allowed you to believe in yourself. I hope you will thank that person today. We recognize that through your hard work, you were accepted to this distinguished law school, and the outstanding professors and law school officials provided you with a sterling education. And you are about to come to this stage, and they are about to give you an important diploma, one that I submit that will change your life. But let's be very clear. It's the people who love you and who care about you the most that got you here. Along the way, you had the support and the love of your family. And we've had you stand up. Now, I'm going to have them stand up. Parents, please stand. Spouses, please stand. Grandparents, please stand. Aunts, uncles, cousins, siblings, friends, please stand. This is your day too. And they all are here today sharing in your success and achievement. I was so pleased to learn about the 20% of the students attending a law school at UC Law SF, our first generation students. I was a first-generation person, and I'm a first-generation college graduate, and I'm a first-generation law school graduate. And I'm here today because of my family. And so I'd like to share with you a little bit about my family, because any achievement or success that I've had is really a tribute to them. My father came to the United States in the late 1940s. He was born in Oklahoma, but returned as a young boy to Mexico, where his parents were from. His parents were from a small rural community in Michoacan, Mexico. Some people. A small town called Tangancicuaro. With very limited English, he came to report for military service towards the end of World War II. And like most immigrants, he was also looking for a better way of life. He tried different jobs. He worked at an ice plant. He worked at different jobs, and he ended up working in a steel mill, a steel worker. And I remember he would come home covered in steel soot, and he would be head to toe in these heavy boots. But he sent for my mom and oldest sister, and they settled in Kansas City, Kansas. Both of my parents could be described as humble and simple people. And when my mother and father were reunited in the United States in the early 1950s, the contrast between their lives in Mexico and in this country was dramatic. Growing up in rural Michoacan, Mexico in the 1920s and the 1930s was like growing up in a rural community here in the late 1800s. My father rode a horse to deliver goods for the shopkeeper he worked for. My mother washed clothes and dishes in the nearby stream and ironed clothing with the metal irons that need to be placed on hot metal plates. Neither one of my parents were able to pursue a formal education in Mexico due to very difficult personal and family circumstances. They were pioneer-like people during those times, and really even after coming to the United States. With 7 kids, my mom did not work outside the home. When my twin sister and I were born, my brother Ramon was just over a year old, and my brother Carlos was 3 weeks from turning 3. We lived in a very small house for a family of 9 with only 1 bathroom. The kids basically slept dormitory style in one big room in the back of the house. Growing up, we had very traditional family roles, the girls and the boys. We had no phone until I was in the 8th grade, and my mom washed clothes for all of us in a ringer-style washer until I was in college. We didn't have a clothes dryer, so all our clothes had to dry either outside or in this small house. As a working-class couple, it was tough, and society presented its own set of challenges as well. In Kansas City, regrettably, in the 1950s, when my parents went to the movie theater, they had to sit in a separate section of the theater. My father and other Latinos and other persons of color were told to use a separate bathroom at the steel plant where he worked. My dad worked very hard, but never made a lot of money. In the early 1980s, however, 5 of us kids were in college all at the same time, thanks to scholarships, work study, financial aid opportunities. And 6 of the 7 kids, we're old now, but have received post-secondary education degrees. Thank you. Interestingly, 4 of us became lawyers. My brother Carlos, those last 4, was the first in our family to go to law school. My brother Ramon was the first in our family and in our local community to attend Harvard Law School. And Janet my twin and I went on to law school as well. After graduation, Janet went to work on Capitol Hill in DC. She started working as a staff attorney for a congressman from Kansas, part-time, and eventually served as deputy assistant to President Clinton and was deputy director of the Office of Legislative Affairs. In that capacity, she served as the chief liaison to members of the United States Senate and House of Representatives and worked in the White House the last 5 years of the Clinton administration. Currently, Janet is president and CEO of Unidos US, formerly the National Council of La Raza, which is the largest Hispanic civil rights group in the country. Janet is an effective and remarkable leader. Through her leadership and hard work, she has affected so many lives for the better. I'm so proud of her. So Janet, my twin, have been very competitive our whole lives, trying to compare Chief Judge of the Ninth Circuit, head of the Unidos US. In this circuit, I think you all know the answer to that. But I think this competitiveness and our mutual respect has brought out the best in both of us and has propelled us professionally throughout our lives. But looking back, it is obvious that education was very important to my parents and to each of my siblings. Despite my parents' own lack of formal education, they recognized the power of a good education. And they didn't say, hey, you have to go to school. They said it when how they carried and cared for a book. And they said, you don't throw a book. That book has something in it, and you should know that that's how you get educated. It was subtle, but it was powerful how they communicated it. And I share my parents' story because I believe my parents are primarily responsible for what I and my siblings have been able to accomplish, and it's because of some very basic principles that they believed in and that they clung to. Faith in God, a strong work ethic, love of family, knowing the importance of being a good neighbor, and a clear appreciation for what we have and what is offered in these United States. With all of its challenges and issues, this is an extraordinary country when you think about it. Two people with very few means from a small town in Mexico who worked very hard, sacrificed much, and dedicated themselves to the education of their family and service of their community. My parents' lives were not easy, yet despite their many hardships, they always somehow remained positive, resilient, and hopeful. My father would often say to us, aquí en este país el sol sale para todos. And I'll translate, here in this country, the sun shines for everyone. My parents believed that opportunities would follow from hard work and perseverance. Their values are a part of me. I'm a witness to, and in many ways, evidence of their American dream. I've seen it come true, and I'm seeing it come true for you. They wanted us to know, despite the challenges, that in this country, no matter who you are, what color you are, where you came from, there is opportunity if you are determined to find it. My dad had another way of expressing this. He would say to us, you're no better than anyone else, but you're also no less than anyone else. My father wanted us to stand up for ourselves and for those who couldn't speak for themselves. My parents knew this country was special, but they always wanted us to remember our heritage and where they and we had come from. They understood that one of the reasons this country is unique is that people of different backgrounds and cultures could succeed here. And I share this story, and I thank you for listening, because even though we may have had different paths, we share a similar journey. And my story is your story. And though I must confess, my mom had a slightly different definition of success. Shortly after I became a district court judge in Arizona, and Janet, my sister, my twin, was working in the White House, my madrina, my godmother, there may be some godmothers present here today, was talking to my mom in the kitchen. Janet and I were both home in Kansas City visiting, and my mom, where she existed, was in the kitchen, and she was talking to her friend and my godmother. All of this in Spanish, and Janet and I were in the living room around the corner, and we could hear the conversation. And my godmother said to my mom, again, all in Spanish, "Amalia, you should be very proud of the twins. One is a federal judge, and the other works in the White House with the president." Janet, and I put down what we were doing. We were listening closely to hear what my mom would say in response. And my mom paused, and she said, "Comadre, I would be very proud if they knew how to make flour tortillas." And my mom wanted us to understand and would consistently remind us that humility was key. So as I look back on my journey, my family's journey, I see all of these things: hard work, determination, faith, a good education, and humility. They helped me get to where I am today. You too will have these tools to start a new phase of your journey. Thanks to your legal education and these people behind me, you now have the power to chart your own course and write your own American story. Your community, your country, and the world needs you now more than ever. And so I pass along my father's advice to you and my mother's example. Speak on behalf of your client. Speak up for yourself. Speak for those who can't and who don't have a voice. And do it with grace. On a day like the day, the world is a better place because you are here and you are entering this wonderful phase of your life. The American dream is officially within your reach. And some of you have already achieved the biggest step today. As you go forward in your life, I hope that you will recognize the power within you and that you will help to open the door to that American dream a little wider so that others can see that their own dreams are also possible. I once heard Justice Sandra Day O'Connor say that the greatest privilege that one can be given is to be asked to be a judge of your peers. And as you heard, I'm chief of the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. I'm the first woman of color to lead a circuit court. And it's been, thank you. But it's been too long, and there's not enough. And being a judge has been the greatest privilege and the greatest honor of my life. As the Chief Judge of the Ninth Circuit, I am doing my utmost to put into practice the values instilled in me: resilience, commitment to hard work, and a realistic optimism in meeting the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. I ask you to work with me to ensure the fair and effective administration of justice for everyone, to recognize and protect the dignity of every person, and to protect the freedoms and rights that are guaranteed to us. There is still work to be done to ensure a fair and level playing field. So as you walk off today and start your careers, work hard, follow your passion, remember integrity matters, give back to your community, and if you can, learn how to make flour tortillas. Muchísimas gracias. Thank you very much. Congratulations to the class of 2024.
Thank you, Judge Murguia. UC Law San Francisco has a proud and unique relationship with the University of California. Founded in 1878, the University of California San Francisco College of the Law was California's first law school and was considered the law department of the University of California. And I understand they have a few additional ones now. President of the University of California, Michael Drake, was unable to join us today. However, I am thrilled to introduce his designee, Deputy General Counsel, and most importantly, a class of 1994 UC Law San Francisco alum, Kelly Drum, who joins us here today in honor of our relationship with the University of California and to confer your degrees upon you. Deputy G.C. Drum is a testament to the transformative power of a UC Law degree. She was a first-generation student, a LEOP student, and president of the Native American Law Student Association. She joined UC's Office of General Counsel in 2006 as a member of the Environmental Group, later serving as UC's system-wide managing counsel for construction, real estate, and land use. She is now the Deputy General Counsel and Chief of Staff to UC's Senior Vice President of Legal Affairs and System-wide General Counsel. Please join me in welcoming Kelly Drum to offer some remarks before the conferral of degrees. Kelly?
Thank you very much. Hello, class of 2024. As the first in my family to graduate from college, a LEOP student, a proud member of the Delaware Tribe of Indians, and a fellow graduate from this prestigious institution, it is really my honor to confer upon you today a degree on behalf of the Regents of the University of California. 30 years ago, I was literally sitting where you sit today, excited to celebrate with my friends and family. I was at the same time feeling anxious about the journey ahead. I was worried. Will I pass the bar? Will I land the job of my dreams? But even more pressing on my mind was whether I had what it takes to be successful in this profession. I did, I do, and you all do too. My path was not as I had imagined it, but every step of the way was rewarding. Each of you has led a unique journey to this moment and to the law. Today is about celebrating your achievements, your resilience, and your unwavering dedication to UC Law San Francisco's motto, Fiat Justitia, let justice be done. As you embark on your careers, carry this guiding principle with you. Let it inspire you to seek the truth, uphold fairness, and champion equality in all of your endeavors. Remember, opportunities for positive change don't often arise, and when they do, it's often unexpectedly. Stay open, stay vigilant, and you will illuminate the path of justice wherever you go. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Deputy G.C. Drum. And now it is time to proceed with the awarding of academic degrees. As we begin the conferral, I would like to remind guests to please stay seated at this time. We will begin with our 3 master's programs: the Master of Health Policy and Law, the HPL degree, the Master of Studies in Law, the MSL degree, and the Masters of Law, the LLM degree. The UCSF, UC Law San Francisco Health Policy and Law, HPL program offers a jointly conferred Master of Science degree from UCSF and UC Law that prepares students to become change makers for health by providing students with the tools and training needed to effectively navigate and address contemporary legal and policy challenges in health and health science. HPL graduates have gone on to serve in top positions at academic institutions, medical research labs, technology companies, and healthcare facilities across the nation. The MSL, now in its 13th year, is a degree for professionals who wish to gain a sophisticated understanding of the law as it applies to their fields. The MSL program was originally aimed at health and science professionals, but has since expanded to include those who work in the fields of business and technology, as well as those professionals who wish to design their own program of legal study. And finally, in 2002, UC Law launched the LLM program, which draws students from all around the world. This year, our graduating class represents 14 jurisdictions. Will the candidates for the degrees of Master of Science, Health Policy and Law, Master of Studies in Law, and Master of Laws please stand? Deputy General Counsel Drum, I have the honor to present these candidates for the rank of Master of Science, Health Policy and Law, Master of Studies in Law, and Master of Laws. They have successfully completed the curriculum of UC College of the Law, San Francisco, certified by the faculty, and are entitled to the ancient rank of Master.
By the virtue of the authority vested in me by the Regents of the University of California, I hereby confer upon you, the graduates of the class of 2024, the Master of Science, Health Policy and Law, Master of Studies in Law degree, and the Master of Laws degree, with all of the rights and privileges pertaining thereunto. Congratulations.
UC Law San Francisco has been at the center of the legal community in the West for 145 years, and this is our 143rd graduating class of law students. Will the candidates for the degree of Juris Doctor please stand? Deputy General Counsel Drum, I have the honor to present these candidates, certified by the faculty, who have successfully completed the curriculum of UC College of the Law, San Francisco, for the degree of Juris Doctor.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Regents of the University of California, I hereby confer upon you, the graduates of the class of 2024, the Juris Doctor degree with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereunto. Congratulations.
Erin Grace Eaton. Auda Marina Okatani. Laura Elizabeth Began. Imani Schulters. Taylor Quintana. Malia Khan. Maite Veronica Garcia. William Sopana Tuan. Robin Bartlett. Shannon O'Mara Pipkin. Kimberly Ann Buss. Yasmin Peled. Amanda Michelle Smith. Emily Waters Liga. Margarita Polishchuk. Kubalai Themer. Lynn Ontario Alexander. Rissel Ann Funa. Andrew Majalia. Shinmai Natagayer. Sofasila Mabuli. Valentine Lydell. Rebecca Scarcello. Genevera Nuti. Natale Lepera. Greta Zaccardi. Emma Virginie Viviane Gerard. Hussein Nadim. Oriana Mary Motian. Rena Geis. Alexander Michael Fout. Justice L. Lassman. Marco Swantek. Adelie Samier. Kamal Agrawal. Jelena Saga. Anna Sarek. Nilufar Lorastani. Li Feng. Stephanie Stevie. Rahel Alizar. Isabel Vishout. Alina Bezin. Hashu Liu. Kadi Habdura Kamenov. Insu Kim. Catherine Nasi. Mikayla Domingo. Kyle Freeman. Paige Elizabeth Hyman. Cynthia Mesa. Haley Ruth Meyer. Shalika Mehta. Brianna Bibi Bradley. Tazeen Hussein. Zora Mir. Gabriela Salazar Kidner. Christian Ayin Nicholas. Suzanne Iduni. Kelsey Anderson. Madeline Schur. Brianna A. Robinson. Corey Alexander Sherman. Alexander Whistler. Ivan Ditmars. Michael Allen Sitkin. Max Avram Drager Moyer. Ryan Franklin. Clavy Ali Robertson. James O'Donnell. Carolina Ferreira Alves. Amelia Cook. Kuwobo Mubiana. Diego Castillo. Rachel Nicole Pyle. Jennifer Nakano. Miriam Alma Ruth Peters. Marie Lomas. Guy Lau. Abdurrahman Kamal. Emma Guo. Tiffany Sabrina Bakos. Noelle Christina Ruane. Sierra Alyssa Cotaverdian. Nikki Serene Villavant. Adelena Hurd. Tyler B. Penta. Joseph Bemis. Scarlett Rose Tunney. Aaron Botti. Josiah Samuel White. Dina Garibian. Shithra N. Kulkarni. Andrew Selvo. Henry Nibelin. Robert Rodier Potter. Michael Wambach. Nicholas Diaz. Charlotte Claire Halifax. Julia Marie Crosswaite. Alan Wisnit. Kenneth Yim. Christina M. Brazzoni. Sarah Rose Rainey. Sophia Espinosa. Austin Fani. Ahona Zima Shothri. Mushmi Gazula. Parmveer Singh Dot. Thomas Nizamzadeh. Karush KJ Jafar. Ramat A. Omari. Alyosha Maheen. Gabriella Rose Picata. Carrie Keiko Tarami. David Ulysses Fuentes Urias. Ken Takeda. Andrew James Ignacio. Judd Oliver Bagioro. Samantha Fong. Mark Santiago Gravador. Justin R. Sung. Roger Reg Lambrento Gollick. Judy Shi. Nicole No. Christian Fan. Angelica Grace Lee. Jordan T. Lee. Sophia Lima. Shilpa Shaju. Kaylin Elizabeth Chen. Elizabeth Chloe D'Souza. Norman Oliver Xavier. Kristen Mikoko Izuo. Sophia Antonina Tarantino. Arthur Shui. Daniel J. Cassay. Katie Rosine. Corey Jolly. Emily McCormick. Norair Zakarian. Alec Galustein. Massimo Warren Gambrioli. Zoe Bays. Margaret Patricia Crowley. Ryan Brooks Martin. Catherine Bick. David Gargaro. Benjamin Cooper. Erica Westfall Griggs. Kenna Fung. Sierra DeBoer. Lauren Ulig. Estefania Valois Blanco. Madeline Marie Frank. Kira Jane Peterson. Marissa Lauren Hauk. Sydney Mary Cross. Jake Edward Pendergast. Andrew Hudlow. Thomas Liam McCarthy. Samuel B. Ruby. Iris Lynn Wagner. Teresa Ann Borge. Narissa Abasakun. Ashley Johnson. Catherine Wetterstrand. Kylie Michelle Armin. Nicholas M. Medellin. Olivia Lois Lassa. Bob L. Chan. Zachary Haddad. Brett J. Weisberg. Daniel Partielli. Jacqueline Lee. Andrea Heijin Kim. Jenna Chi Han. Kevin C. Liu. Hanshi Shah. Ismail Moed Lemun. Joyce Lichan Jang. Kawan Kim. Anan Chen. Leilani Sinyue Liu. Duncan Riley Chu. Niranand Ram. Candace Rue Hagee. Emma Agnes Braden. Anthony Lindsay. Simon Abel Sylvan Recht. Alexander Eliopoulos. Matthew R. Devaney. Kenneth C. Ponchak. Bradley DeMall. Fernanda Mariela Gonzalez. Tussany B.M. Reedboon. Janelle Nunez. Trina Marie Diaz. Mirabel Villarreal. Nancy Alcaraz Areola. Gloria C. Nunez Jasso. Catherine Cueva. Eric Alexander Gonzalez. Joseph Amadeo Moore. Raquel Grande. Will Martell. Thanks, Jonah. Jonah P. Baker. Woo! Robert Cartwright. Woo! Tom Flynn. Colt Christ Watkis. Raymond Basurto Jr. Christopher G. Blackburn. Delphine Sophie Brisson Burns. Amber June Grover. Caitlin Mora Baresi. Isaac Valentino Beltran. Emily Montalvo Telford. Amna Kamer. Alexia Beatrice. Adriana Jacqueline Diaz Mireles. Brandon Peeve. Suri Joanna Molina. Brandon Lee. Trace Patrick Demarest. Madison Thompson. Orly Natanya Shinyan. Callie Hoffman. Timothy L. Bricker. Emily Nielsen Kalsa. Jesse Lord. Elizabeth Lorenzana. Jack Ryan N. Quirk. Mira Balasubramanian. Prashanti Lakshmi Manoharan. William C. Howard. Thomas Lee. Deepa Mardemutu. Leanne F. Friedendahl. Mary Mitchell. Savannah Eldridge. Joshua Arialis. Mahina K. Smith. Rafael Martinez Garcia. Alexander Enrique Lopez Rodriguez. Sophia Eurita Fulon. Kyle Buenaventura Seller. Ashley Chu. Wendy Doe. Patrick Cardwell. Ananya Srikanth. Hannah Noel Johnson. Sheila Sarang. Juna Uni Cho. Sam Skoronsky. Sahar Hashemian. Andy Arnold. Hannah Brown. Rainlyn Musney. Joe T. O'Hare. Anastasia Chilamidas. Ilona Evelina Mantashian. Caitlin Hambly Lavoy. Katie R. Nibby. Heather C. Smith. Mikayla Theda Kellenberger. Gracie Winston. Savannah Carter. Megan Wilhelm. Ryan Paul Orkish. Jordan Diamond. Sasha Nasser. Sonia Nicole Chen. Daniel Nadarata Bilostas. Jason Anderson. Jayshawn Anderson. Thank you. Kondo Dolma Deki Kangsar. Marissa May Bowling Tongkum. Nadine Nasnas. Cody S. Parker. Michaela Breutman. Margot Sierra Payton. Brian Sykes. Natalie Tontasi Rirat. Christy Dominique Lamb. Ashley Schultz. Audrey Voss. William Joseph Fong. Justine McGowan. Brianna Fleurer. Kira Lily Sachs. Isabel Velez. Crystal Navarro. Emma Harrington. Brandon Chen. Gabriel Martin Ross. Catherine Colley. Anna Sophia Mello. Rafi Bortnick. Haley Sanuto. Cole Kraber. Anushka Krishanthi Sirimana. Jeffrey Wong. Grant Reed Hoos. John Ezel. Whoa. Divya Schlesinger. Rachel Stokes Grana. Julia Rose McCoy. David Intrabartolo. Zachary Newman.
I dropped my card. It's Tyler Larson.
I got you. Tyler Larson. Sidich Mehta.
Thank you.
Thank you. Richard G. On. Owen William Eric Nelson. Alisa Santos. Philip A.G. Brian Andrew Weikel. Sofia Helena Gallegos. Safina Motiwala. Zachary Soled. Alexis Salote Cherry. Jeffrey Bajorquez. Zoe Lee Grimaldi. Adrian Gabrielle Plata. Paula Marie Dashel Tucker. Justin Ross. Hannah Abbott. Oliver Winston Chang. Evelyn Wynn. Catherine Cox.
Thank you. Okay, go for it. Hi, Tony.
Sophia Camille Arandia Marstella. Ariana Matheny. Mackenzie Lee Newman. Nagin Berusi. What's going on, Victor?
Thank you.
You're welcome, darling. Victor Q. Kelly Alexis Peralt. Rana Salem. Shada Christine Shahenfar. Ian Head. Kevin Barlev. Eric Bedrosian. Kendall Nicole Christensen. Ani Arakelian. Maximilian Fury Robbins. Allegra Khan. Shania B. Hunt. Tatum Novitsky.
First name Blake.
I got it, Blake. I got you. Blake Catherine. Leyland Reed.
Okay, go ahead and start walking.
Khaki Wade.
Go ahead and start walking.
Kelsey Sina.
Go ahead and start walking.
Peter Slosser. Rachel Sheffer. Crystal J. U. Jessica Lauren Harris.
Thank you.
Daniel Dovelv. Max Joachim. Mackenzie Murphy. Victoria Raynone. Taryn Catherine Marks. Polly Gomez. Erica Feemster. Andrew J. Figueroa. Elena A. Miro. Michael Saito. Paul Sanukian. Nicholas Edward Luong. Isaac Severson. Celine B. Nguyen. Sai Ganeshan. Samuel Eisenberg. Ryan Gopar Ramirez. Rami Syed Quasto. Grant Joseph Schwal. Nama Ibizim Gonzalo. David Alexander Irby Ebert. John Hogan Rodici. Nadia Hadir. Ashley F. Odumoso. Michelle J. Sullivan. Eliza Stewart Clark. Heejin Lim. Victoria Homburg. Julia Markey. Devin Goodman. Jonathan Eduardo Escobar Valencia. Darius De La Peña. John David Savage. Oops. Leon Lamb. McKenna Kayla Kershaw. Sabine Dahi. Juliana Aruda. Cassidy Wiley. Rayanne Leatherwood. Are we done? We did it good. Fast.
Beautiful voice.
Thank you. By tradition, the graduating class selects a member of the faculty to give farewell remarks. This year, the class selected Professor Stefano Moscato. Stefano received his undergraduate degree in political economy of industrialized societies from UC Berkeley and his law degree from UCLA School of Law. Before going into teaching, he clerked for U.S. District Court Judge Laughlin Waters in the Central District of California, worked as an employment litigator at Mitchell, Silverberg, and Nupin in Los Angeles. He was the Director of Litigation for the UCLA Law Clinical Program, and he had a stint as amicus program director for the National Employment Lawyers Association. Stefano has been teaching civil litigation courses for over 20 years, starting with teaching experiential skills courses like depositions, trial advocacy, and pretrial litigation during his time in the clinical program at UCLA Law and then as an adjunct at Berkeley Law in Golden Gate. He eventually found his way into the traditional doctrinal classroom at UC Law San Francisco. He came aboard as a visiting professor in 2011 and joined the full-time faculty in 2013. He has taught a laundry list of courses here, always striving to integrate practical skills training and problem-solving methods into whatever course he teaches. Whether unpacking dense legal subjects with fun, animated PowerPoint slides, a skill for which he has developed quite a reputation, or devoting countless hours working with students outside the classroom, Stefano is a passionate and devoted teacher and mentor. From 2017 to 2022, Stefano served as Associate Dean for Academic Skills Instruction and Support, helping develop programs that bolster student success that are now synonymous with our pervasive, integrated, and iterative skills-focused curriculum aimed at all students. He also helped create what we call the law and process versions of upper division bar subject courses in which faculty, including him, reinforce the written legal analysis skills emphasized in the 1L SAC classes and provide students multiple opportunities to get individualized feedback on their written work. Finally, he oversaw a revamped bar passage support program that significantly expanded and enhanced bar success skills programming and support, which coincided with a 30% increase in our graduates' first-time bar passage rate. I'm sure he will have a few words to share with you about that pesky exam that lurks just over the horizon. Without further ado, Professor Stefano Moscato.
Thank you, Dean Faigman, class of 2024. Congratulations! We are here today to celebrate the completion of your law school education and to confer your degree, which you just got. For some of you, it's an HPL or an MSL or an LLM. For most of you, it's the JD. And for that, you get to wear this cool little robe with purple stripes on it. You get to sport a gold little tassel on your mortarboard. You got that hood that just got put over you, bearing your school colors. All good stuff, right? But sadly, what that law degree doesn't come with is a license to practice law. To get that, you have the privilege of embarking on a 10-week journey chock full of really, really fun activities, what we call bar review. When I was in law school, my first introduction to bar review was going to whatever Santa Monica watering hole the 1L class reps were choosing that Thursday night for us. I don't know if that's still in the law school vernacular, but sadly, that's not the sort of bar review that looms over your horizon. And I do want to spend a couple of minutes, as Dean Faigman mentioned, telling you a little bit about that. Now, if we were just having a private little conversation, I might be tempted to gripe with you about the idea that forcing you to memorize an ungodly amount of black letter law, trying to manage it, try to force you to spend an entire day filling little bubbles and another full day furiously typing away in rote formulaic IRAC essays purporting to analyze quite simplistic, formulaic fact pattern, unrealistic fact patterns. That, I would say, if we were in private, tells us next to nothing about your competence to practice law. You've already proven that you are competent to practice law. That's why you are here today. But, and again, if we were just having a private little conversation, I also might be tempted to suggest that asking a lawyer to provide legal advice by pulling some little rule that's tucked away in the back of their brain, along with hundreds of other little rules that are dying to just escape, and applying that rule to a condensed fact summary without doing any additional fact investigation, without doing any additional legal research, I would be tempted to say that that would border on malpractice. And yet, here we are. That is the process by which we get to decide, or at least the California bar has decided, that whether or not you are worthy to be in this profession, to get a law license. But we're not having a private little conversation, so I'm not going to say any of those things. Instead, I'm going to take a little time to focus on telling you a little bit about the things that you can do to maximize your odds of only having to go through that incredibly painful, unpleasant process one time. And I'm going to start by addressing everybody else in the crowd, not the graduates. Parents, families, partners, friends of the class of 2024. Please celebrate with your graduate today and tonight. Please celebrate with them tomorrow. And then after that, leave them alone until August. If you want to be helpful, freeze some meals, make a bunch of meals for them to stick in their freezer, and then go very, very far away. They need to focus. Graduates, unlike my civil procedure courses, bar review is really, really boring. You're not going to be excited by any of what you're learning or relearning, not even when you're revisiting civil procedure, sadly. It's just a tedious slog, and you have to get through it. And getting to the finish line really kind of boils down to two simple words. 400 hours. That's what it takes, 400 hours. Margaret Greer will tell you, or probably already has told you, lots about what goes into those 400 hours, how to get to that magic number, how to create a schedule to get to that magic number. Do not fall behind. Do those 400 hours. You don't want to be playing catch up. Playing catch up puts you into a vicious cycle. I've seen it. I see it every summer. It's not pretty. It doesn't have a surprise happy ending. It's just not pretty, and you don't want to be there. So if you're having trouble, reach out for help. We are all here to help. I am here to help. Don't refuse our help. Use it. And one last thing about the bar exam. It's 10 weeks. You can do anything for 10 weeks, right? It's just 10 weeks. Just keep reminding yourself that there's going to be a glorious light at the end of what at first will seem like a very dark little tunnel. But the light is there. You're going to be able to see it sooner than you think. And keep focusing on it. All right, that's it. No more bar exam talk. Back to the fun, cheery part of the program. I want to reflect a little on what you've accomplished over these last 3 years. You, as others have mentioned, you started your law school journey, our first class after we went back to in-person instruction after lockdown, We had masks on for the whole first semester, couldn't hear each other very well, lots of muffled little talks, conversations. Some of you, I saw your faces for the first time today. But we made it through it, right? You made it through that difficult semester. We were resilient in getting through it. Then when you came back in the spring semester of your 1L year, you got a fun little couple of week exposure to Zoom U. That was good stuff, right? For those of you who graduated from undergrad before starting law school, you remember Zoom U probably. I remember Zoom U. I didn't like it very much. It was not a pleasant reminder to be there, but we made it through that as well. And then you've gotten to this point through resilience and grit and determination. And for that, you should be extremely proud of yourselves. And you also survived what may be even trickier than a year of masks and Zoom, which is constantly having to update your resumes with a new name for the school that you're attending. Right? You started at UC, he who must not be named. When you returned in your 2L year, you returned to what I called UC TBD. And finally, you get to be graduates of UC College of the Law, San Francisco, formerly known as UC he who should not be named. You also achieved a ton of things outside the classrooms, lots of accomplishments outside the classroom as well. You logged an impressive number of pro bono hours, as we heard earlier, hours devoted to running affinity groups, journals, clubs. You competed in trial, moot court, ADR team competitions all over the country, and you brought home all sorts of hardware, and for that you should be proud, and you even managed to show up to class every once in a while. That was pretty good too. Your supporters here also deserve a few thank yous for their critical roles in shepherding you through the process. Partners of graduates, right? Those who actually had to live with these good folks for these 3 years and had to absorb the train wreck of what 1L life was and then a little bit better beyond that. Thank you for putting up with what undoubtedly your partner insisted on doing, which is wearing the same stinky, dirty sweatshirt with stain full of Doritos for 3 straight weeks during that glorious first unforgettable final exam season. Parents, thank you for tolerating your child's newfound desire when they came back home to you to inspect your home and suddenly have the urge to tell you that you needed to warn all of your house guests about all the torts lingering around the corner. And graduates, you should also thank all of those in your life who were there to remind you every once in a while that there are some things more important in life than figuring out where the line is between what's plausible and what's merely possible. Not a lot more important than that, but some things. All right, graduates, I now want to share a few words of wisdom, if you call it that, as you prepare for the next chapter of this journey. One, if you have ever felt like an imposter during your time here at UC Hastings, like you didn't belong in law school, geez, did I just say that? Like you didn't belong in law school, and I know many of you felt that way. And some of you may even continue to feel like an imposter today. You're not even quite sure how you got to this point today. Well, I have one thing to say to you. This profession needs you. This profession really needs you. You deserve to be here, and we really want you in this profession. Yeah. Number two, we've given you the tools to think like a lawyer.
Use those skills, but you don't have to act like a lawyer. Lawyers can be bitter, vindictive. Don't be that. Hold on to your values. Be your authentic self as you embark on this journey. You've learned how to think critically. You've learned how to reason, how to craft compelling arguments. Use those skills to strengthen your authentic self. Don't fall into the trap of using them in those vindictive, contrarian ways like some lawyers are wont to do. Don't be that person. Number 3, be patient. Life and careers are long. Lawyering isn't always sexy, but be patient. It'll be rewarding. Think about civil procedure. I've never met anyone, maybe some of you are in here, I've never met anyone who comes to law school thinking, I can't wait to learn about relation back of amendments. But if you've learned anything in your Civ Pro course, it's often that unsexy stuff that really makes a difference in a lawsuit. Which is to say, embrace the unsexy tasks. It'll get you noticed. You'll be rewarded with potentially sexier tasks down the road if that's what you want. Also, be patient in another way. Your first job is just that. It's your first job. I don't know very many people who still have today their first job after they graduated. There will be something else around the corner if you're feeling like you're itching to move. There will be something else, so be patient. I had lots of stops along my own journey. And let me tell you a little bit about how I got here and how you should reflect on some of the things that I'm going to tell you. When I was a judicial law clerk, the thing that I actually loved the most about my experience was working with the law school externs, mentoring them. And that really stuck with me throughout my career. And then when I was a litigator, I loved fact investigation. I wanted to know the story. My favorite part, right, were those days where I got to go take a deposition. Like getting a deponent to open up, give me that key little nugget of an admission that they probably didn't even realize could be important to my case. I loved that moment. I loved painstakingly working through every little step of the timeline, boring opposing counsel to the point of potentially falling asleep. Now, if I could get the opposing counsel to fall asleep, that was a successful deposition. And I always paid attention to those things, to what work I found most rewarding, most exciting, most satisfying. And from time to time, reflect on that. Reflect on what is important and satisfying and rewarding to you. Doing that got me to where guided me eventually to where I am today, right? Teaching civil litigation skills. And so check in with yourself every once in a while. What is it that you enjoy the most about your work? Is it directly working with clients, if you get to do that every once in a while? Is that what keeps you going? Look for work that brings you more of that. Is it getting to craft a beautiful opposition brief to a motion for summary judgment? Maybe. If that's what you like, then look for jobs, right? Work that will reward that side of you. Is it seeking the broader impact rather than just the nitty-gritty of individual lawsuits or an individual contract negotiation? If that impact is what you're really striving for, yearning for, keep your eyes open. The opportunity to do the thing that you enjoy the most is going to be out there. And then one last final piece of advice. You came to law school because you're passionate and because you're driven. You survived law school because you're a fighter, because you're resilient. Keep that passion. Keep that fight. Keep that hunger. Go out there and use your head, use your heart, use your hands, get dirty with it sometimes, and you're going to make a mark on this really imperfect but wonderful profession. Congratulations, class of 2024. We are so very proud of you. So proud of you. You did it!
Thank you, Stefano. On behalf of UC Law San Francisco, I would like to extend the college's warm appreciation to everyone who participated in today's ceremonies. I ask that the audience and graduates remain seated until after the faculty begins the recessional. Then I ask that the audience remain seated until the graduates have exited the auditorium. Guests may meet graduates in front of the building on Grove Street. Congratulations to all our graduates. This concludes our formal commencement program. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Thank you.